Welcome, Chinese learners. Today we're going to be talking about pronunciation in pinyin. And pronunciation is really one of the most important things that you can learn when you're learning a new language. And so that's what we're going to go over. It's going to really help you structure also your listening comprehension. So as you get better at pronouncing the sounds that are made in the language, you'll find that you'll also get a better ear to be able to hear those sounds and differentiate sounds that may seem at first very similar and may be the same to you. Now I want to give just a quick introduction to pinyin. Really what pinyin means in Chinese is spell sounds. And so it's really the system that is used to take letters from the English alphabet and spell the Chinese sounds with them. Now there's a lot of systems that have done this in the past. And just to give one example, some of you may have seen Beijing spelled P-E-K-I-N-G and thought, well, it must be Peking. But actually that was a different system that used that specific spelling, P-E-K-I-N-G, to spell Beijing. It didn't really represent a different sound than it is pronounced today. Another example of that is the capital of Taiwan, Taipei. Most of you may think that it's actually Taipei because it's spelled with a P. But that P is actually representing a B sound in that instance. In fact, really, the Bei in Beijing and the Bei in Taipei both mean north in Chinese and represent the same word. And the reason why we're teaching you the pinyin system for romanizing the sounds in Chinese is because it's really the most commonly used system today and used by mainland China. And most people are learning Chinese because they want to communicate with people from mainland. And this will allow them to do so using the same system that they use to teach children in China. Now we're going to be talking about initials and finals. And at the beginning, the concept of initials and finals might be a little difficult for you. Just go with it right now. As we go over some initials and finals, you'll start to see how these two things work together. Initials are essentially the beginning part of a syllable, and finals are the final part of that syllable. Now this is our first set of initials, B, P, M, F. And really these sounds are made just like they are in English. B, P, M, F. The only difference is that when we make these sounds in English, we tend to tuck our lips in when we make the sound. And Chinese, if you really want to have a really good sound, to sound just like a Chinese person does, you want to pucker your lips because that's what they do. So they make more of a bo, po, mo, fo. Bo, po, mo, fo. Now with this next set of sounds, you'll notice that I paired them with a E. And the reason I did that is because that E represents a sound. And often when you make this sound, it naturally comes with a sound. So k, g, h. These sounds are made just like you do in English, g, k, h. But I would note that you will find that some Chinese will make the H sound a little bit harsher than we do in English. Standard would say that it goes just like it does in English, h. But some Chinese you will find make it more of a h. This next set of sounds are made just like they are made in English. D, t, l, n. Now we're going to be going over 3 sets of sounds here. This is our first set of sounds. Notice that each set of sounds all are being paired with the letter I. That does not necessarily represent all the same vowel sound. It is actually representing the natural vowel sound that goes with these sounds. you can't make a consonant sound without some type of vowel, and the I here is representing that. So the first sound is Z. The second one is C. The third one is S. Now, the CI might be a little hard for some of you, and the reason is because it's a sound that, when we make it in English, is not at the beginning of a syllable. It's at the end. And I want to give you an example of that. Starts. That TS sound at the end of starts is the same as the C sound. So it's ts, ts. So let's go over these three sounds once more. Z, ts, s, z, ts, s, z, ts, s. Now this is our second set of sounds, and this is made in the middle of our mouth as opposed to the front. And the I's here make an E sound. So we have Ji, Chi, Shi. So the J makes a J sound, the Q makes a CH sound, and the X makes an SH sound. Ji, Chi, Shi. Ji, Chi, Shi. Ji, Chi, Shi. Now this last set of sounds can be a little difficult for people to make, especially since these sounds are very familiar to us. They're just being made in a different part of the mouth. So for example, ZH makes a J sound. This SH makes a SH sound. The CH makes a CH sound. And the R we'll explain a little bit later, but it sounds a little bit like an R. The I comes out making kind of a R vowel sound. Now, to get started in making this sound, you need to know that you will need to put your tongue back in your mouth as opposed to forward to make this sound. This is not done in English, and so this can be really hard for a lot of people to do. Because it's being put back, it makes a nasal sound. And nasal just sounds like what it is. It's something that comes through the nose. To give examples of that in English, an N sound is a nasal sound and an M sound is a nasal sound. So if we make a M sound, can you hear it coming through the nose? Or can you hear that sound coming through the nose? Well, these sounds also come through the nose, and they do that because your tongue, when it's put back, is blocking the sound from coming out of your mouth. So, another note when making this sound, to make it correctly, you will need to have your mouth closed. So why don't I give you some examples of these sounds? Zhi, shi, chi, ri. Zhi, shi, chi, ri. Zhi, shi, chi, ri. Zhi, shi, chi, ri. Now that RI sound might be a little difficult for you to make, but we'll go over it more in later lessons and help you really master it. Now let's go over the finals.